Calling the Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee meeting to order. It is Wednesday, May 1st at 3:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Vollmer. Alderwoman Keys.
Here.
Alderwoman Velazquez. Vice Chair Browning.
Present.
Chair Schweitzer.
Present.
Alderman Vollmer. Alderwoman Velazquez. We have 3 present. We have a quorum.
Quorum being established, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024.
I move that we approve the minutes of Wednesday, 3rd, 2020.
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman from the 9th, seconded by the Alderman from the 11th. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Vollmer. Alderwoman Keys.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez. Vice Chair Browning.
Aye.
Chair Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderman Vollmer. Alderwoman Velazquez. We have 3 aye votes.
Wonderful, thank you. We have, with your vote, we have approved the minutes of Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, and we'll move on to board bills for review, starting with item number 1, board bill number 3. Alderman Shamim Clark Hubbard, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, woman, and members of the committee. Madam Clerk, can you read the summary to board bill number 3?
The proposed bill directs the Director of Streets pursuant to ordinance number 70333 as amended by ordinance number 71394 to install speed humps on the 1200 block of Montclair Avenue.
Thank you so much. So I normally have people, constituents and neighbors with me, but today this bill was requested, and these humps, street calming, were requested by one of my favorite constituents, Ms. Dorothy Sneed, who is leadership in that area over CCUNA, which is Concerned Citizens United Neighborhood Association, that has been in existence for decades over there in the West End neighborhood. I did try to send the link to my legislative assistant, Ms. Watson, as well. I'm not sure if she is on the call, but I wanted her to be here just in case any of you all had any questions, because in her role as my LA, she regularly attends the CCUNA meetings for me because they conflict with some other meetings in the ward at that same time. So again, with that, this is our normal street calming speed hump bill, but just in case you had any questions, myself or Ms. Watson should be ready to answer.
Wonderful. This is a pretty standard bill here. Noting, do we have any written comments? Okay, wonderful. And no one's waiting on the online to present?
No.
Okay, great. Any questions from any members of the committee?
Let's see. No questions.
Okay. Thank you. I am wondering if the people who are watching online can hear, or on Zoom can hear. Alderman Spencer just messaged me.
Someone messaged you they can't hear?
Alderman Spencer said she's here but can't hear anything, so I didn't know what that meant.
No, we don't.
Okay, well, seeing no questions, you're welcome to close.
Okay, I'll just ask quickly, STLTV, is Miss Cynthia Watson on the Zoom call? Just in case. Okay, I just want to check. She might have had some complications with the link. So thank you again. I ask for your due pass recommendation, favorable consideration and due pass recommendation for board bill number 3.
Thank you, Alderwoman. And just to confirm, it does look like the volume is working, so that's great. Thank you very much. And with that, I will entertain a motion for a due pass recommendation for board bill number.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 11th. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Vollmer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys.
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez, Vice Chair Browning,
Aye.
Chair Switzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Velazquez. I have 4 aye votes.
Wonderful. By your vote, you've sustained the motion, the Alderman from the 5th, and we have passed Board Bill number 3 with a do pass recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to item number 2 on the agenda, Board Bill number 4, introduced by Alderwoman Kara Spencer, who I believe is joining us on Zoom. Alderman Spencer?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry, I am having some technical difficulties. Wednesday afternoon as well is the day that I pick my son up at
I'm
3:30.
not sure
So
we can
listen up.
see you right now, Alderman. Second. Oh, there you are. And you're parked, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I say. All right,
Yeah.
Alderman, please continue. Please continue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm actually parked right across the street from Gus's Pretzels, which got run into, over the weekend. So my apologies, 3:30 is pickup time for me today. So it was an awkward set of timing for me. But I'd like to, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the number of the bill, but we've got 6 speed humps for you in Board Bill number 4. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, Board Bill number 4 has 6 speed humps. Really, these are just requested by residents. They've gone through and been approved by the street department. And with that, I'll take any questions. We're paying for these 6 with Ward Capital. I know we've been lucky enough to have the Soulard Community Improvement District do a lot of speed humps in the 8th Ward, but this one is going to be handled with Ward Capital.
Thank you very much. Let's see. Any public comment for this one or written comments?
No.
Thank you. Members of the committee, anyone have any questions on the bill?
No questions.
Seeing none, Alderman, you are recognized to close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With that, I ask for your favorable consideration and a do pass recommendation on Board Bill number 4.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for a do pass recommendation of Board Bill number
So
4.
moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderman from the 11th. There's been a call for previous roll. Any objection to previous roll? Hearing no objection, we have passed Board Bill number 4 with a pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderman.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 3, Board Bill number 5, introduced by Alderman Laura Keys. You are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. Board Bill number 5, and if we could have our lovely clerk to read the summary, I appreciate that.
An ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps pursuant to ordinance number 70333 as amended by ordinance number 71394 to calm the flow of traffic on the 3600 block of Olive Boulevard, the 41 and 4600 blocks of Carter Avenue, and the 38 block of Lincoln Avenue, the 32nd, 33rd, and 34th and 35th blocks, 32nd, 33rd, 34th, and 35th blocks of Washington Avenue, the 400 and 500 blocks of Cardinal Avenue, and the 400 and 500 blocks of North Compton Avenue.
Please continue.
My turn, thank you. So these speed humps are to help with some streets that are very active and very wide, which lends itself to the belief that we can drive faster. And so most of these streets are close to the Midtown area that's experiencing real problems with speeding in the Locust Business District and Midtown area. So go ahead. That's as much.
Oh, okay, that's it. Things, it looks like about 12 speed humps, 12 different locations.
Yes,
Okay.
if we can get them.
Wonderful. Any public comment or written comments on this?
We have none.
Okay, any questions from members of the committee?
No questions.
Okay, hearing none, you are recognized to close.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would ask for your favorable consideration and a do pass recommendation on Board Bill number 5.
Thank you. With that, I will entertain a motion for a do pass recommendation for Board Bill number 5.
So moved.
Second. Previous roll.
It's Been moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th. There's been a call for previous roll. Any objection for previous roll? Okay, and with that, we have passed Board Bill number, hearing no objection, we have passed Board Bill number 5 with a pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderman. You can stay up there, and you are recognized on Board Bill number 6.
Thank you so much again, Madam Chair. I would ask our clerk to please read the summary for Board Bill number 6.
The bill will establish a four-way stop site at the intersection of North Garrison Avenue and Locust Street, regulating all traffic traveling north and southbound on North Garrison Avenue at the intersection of North Garrison Avenue and Locust Street, and regulating all traffic traveling east and westbound on Locust Street at the intersection of Locust Street and North Garrison Avenue.
Okay, so once again, the four-way stop sign is, I guess for lack of a better term, a prayer that people will actually adhere to seeing the four-way stop sign. Right now, there's nothing in this particular area, and so cars are using their own devices to determine whose turn it is to go next, and it poses a danger and hazard to vehicles as well as pedestrians. And so with that, I would, do I need to wait for you to ask me?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, so with that, I would ask for a favorable consideration and a due pass recommendation.
Thank you. Any written comments or public comment on this?
We have none.
Members of the committee, any questions?
No, just, once it's in place,
You might, your microphone on?
oh, I don't know. But they took care of that. Once it's in place, please put a sign up saying next to it that before you start your car, look both ways, because
Right.
even at red lights these days, you know, I installed stop signs about 2 months ago, and the guy called up and says, "Can we put red lights?" And he says, "No, we have to, you know, do some more things to do this." But yes, it's
Maybe we need to put like theater lights that
no,
rotate real
no,
fast.
But yeah, it's very dangerous out there, and anything we can do to help and consider it done. But it's just very strange days on the roadside.
Yes, indeed.
100% it is. Alderman Browning?
No question.
Thank you, Alderman Keyes, for bringing this forward. Is this that you mentioned that it's is it a small residential area? Or
No, it's actually more commercial than it is residential. So the area that it is near Locust is directly in the Locust Business District. A lot of pedestrian traffic as well as vehicular traffic. It's just a dangerous spot because cars are just moving.
Have there been many accidents at that intersection?
That I don't have the data for, but, you know, this was brought to my attention in a Locust business meeting.
Okay. Yeah, the stop sign legislation that exists on the books now in the city of St. Louis, there's a certain number of accidents that occur that triggers the street department to put up a stop sign. And then, you know, there's a few different ways to put them up. One is if there's a certain number of accidents that occur to put up the stop sign. Two is if an alderperson brings this forward. And then there's also part of the ordinance that talks about residents signing petitions, if I'm right, Christian? Oh, my wonderful assistant, Christian, knows everything. So that is something that I hope that our committee can look at a little bit more, because some of these things, I have a few in my ward that there have been 5 accidents, but there's a stop sign that was triggered.
Yeah.
You know, or citizens have asked for, but they
We
don't have a
certainly can
mechanism for
request the
petition.
data from that
Yeah, it's
area
interesting.
to see if there's anything.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I don't have any further questions. I appreciate that it's being asked for by the business district. Great. Okay, we don't have a question. We got a note that people were putting questions in the chat, but we don't have a back and forth, like, question and answer period time, but we do have a time for public comment. If the person who is interested in, who sent that email is interested in public comment, you're welcome to give a comment. Is there anyone in the chat, Madam Clerk? Or in a Zoom meeting, in the Zoom? The Zoom for this event should be pulled up, so people who want to testify on Zoom can do so in our meeting. Just one second. Thank you for folks who are online, and if you've been flagging that you're interested in giving comment, we definitely want to make sure that you can. Do we need to take a short recess to get that set up, or? Okay, we are going to take a 5-minute recess just to make sure that our public comment portal is working, and we will reconvene at 3:52. Thank you, STL TV. Returning the Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee from recess, it is 3:53 p.m. We took a short recess to see if the person who was on the Zoom wanted to make public comment, but it sounded like they had questions about a different situation, not related to the board bill that's in front of us currently. So I will answer the questions that were raised in the chat during the announcement section, just to keep us moving. Please, if you are in the Zoom and you're interested in making public comment on a board bill, you do need to raise your hand so that the clerk can acknowledge that you're waiting to make public comment. I'll try to make that announcement at the beginning of committee meetings in the future, so no one is confused by that again. Okay, moving on, we are still on board bill number 6 by Alderwoman Laura Keys. We had some discussion before the recess about this intersection in particular. It doesn't look like we have anyone waiting to make any public comment on this bill, and we don't have any written comment, and we are done with questions from the committee, I believe.
No questions.
Wonderful. So with that, Alderman Keys, you're recognized to close.
Well, thank you all once again for hearing, and I would ask for your favorable consideration and a do pass recommendation.
Thank you. With that, we'll entertain a motion for a do pass recommendation of board bill number 6.
So moved.
Second, previous roll.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th, and there's been a call for previous roll. Any objection to previous roll? Okay, with that, we have passed, but board bill number 6 with a do pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderman Keys.
Thank you.
Resolutions for review.
There are none.
Committee discussions. There are none.
There are none.
Don't believe we have any committee discussions. We've already acknowledged we don't have any written testimony. Announcements.
So
Alderman Browning, you're recognized.
thank you. So I got an email from somebody asking a couple questions, and I thought this might be a good time to address it because it's good general knowledge to have. The question is how we all decide where speed humps can be installed and how a constituent can request one to be installed. The answer to that is that it differs on a ward-to-ward basis. Now, you can make a request to the streets department, and they will look into it to see if there is an acceptable amount of vehicles going over the speed limit. If there's a certain amount of vehicles going over the speed limit, they might speak with the alderperson about putting one in. Otherwise, the best way to request one right now is to email your alderperson. Different alder people have different processes for deciding where to put speed humps. Some of us have petitions. That's how I do it in my ward. It'll be a petition that has to get a certain amount of signatures on the block, and it warns about the potential downsides of speed humps because there are a couple. And once that's returned, we initiate the process. It's actually quite a long process right now, looking at fixing that, but. The other question that this person had was that there's an intersection near their house that they submitted concerns about, but it hasn't been addressed, wondering how they can bring that up and where they can obtain crash data. Crash data, as far as I know, can most easily be accessed via TrailNet's crash report every year. That's really the best summation, but I don't know about specific cite crash data. If any of my colleagues know, I'd love to hear it. But I think that answers those couple questions that I got, and it's just good general knowledge for the public to have.
And then thank you, Alderman Browning, or Vice Chair Browning, rather. The crash data is kept maintained by the police department in the city of St. Louis, and there are various ways to get that information. I know my office has gotten that information for neighborhood groups who've requested it, and we try to use that information when deciding how to apply ward capital funds in the ward, so that we're making sure that areas where there are crashes are getting attention. So if you have any specific area that you're looking for crash data on, I do recommend that you reach out to your alderperson, both pump and crash data front. We don't normally do a question and answer period during our committee meetings, but I wanted to make this exception because of the confusion with whether they were trying to testify or not. But never hesitate to reach out with questions to your alderperson or to anyone on this committee. I'm sure I'm happy to answer your questions. Continuing announcements, a few exciting things going on in the Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee coming up. It is May, and that is the month of in the water rate, the board bill that we passed last session, where we would be going to do a review of the water division. So I've sent several questions to the Commissioner Scobie to go over the various things that have been sent to me in regarding our rates, our meters, how the city charges for water, all sorts of things, to have that discussion begin later this month with the water division in this committee publicly. So if you have questions or thoughts, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on that. We'll be talking at length with the water division this month, and an ongoing process. The Transportation and Mobility Plan, many of you may have seen the announcement of that plan moving forward and the work happening on that. We've talked with they're talking with city staff, with different stakeholders, and have talked to aldermen about priorities as well. So that mobility plan, transportation mobility plan, is well underway. They will be giving a presentation to the Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee in a few weeks here, and that will be the precursor to reintroducing our Complete Streets bill, which the wonderful people of the Transportation Mobility Plan and within the city government have been working on and reviewing and giving their feedback on. So looking forward to Complete Streets 2.0, if you will, for this session, so that we can get that over the finish line within the next few months. That is all I have for announcement. Does anyone have anything else? Okay. Excused members, we do need to excuse Alderwoman Velasquez for necessary absence. So noted. And then we need to now adjourn. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Any call for previous roll?
Previous roll.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 5th, seconded by the Alderman from the 9th. There's been a call for previous roll. Any objection? Hearing no objection, we are adjourned. Thank you all so much for your time.